Hello, I'm Dr. Blanca Restrepo. I'm a faculty at the University of Texas Health Science Center Houston Regional Campus in Brownsville. I'm part of the School of Public Health. And flu season is here, so I'm here to tell you about the importance of getting vaccinated. So what is flu? Flu is an infectious disease. It means that it is contagious. It is transmitted from one person to the other. It is caused by a virus called the influenza virus. And this virus propagates much better under cold conditions. So that's why, as we're starting the cold months of the year, we are starting the flu season. So why is it important to get vaccinated? It is important to get vaccinated because the flu vaccine will prevent you from getting sick. What are the symptoms? The symptoms, this is like a severe cold, but it goes beyond a normal cold. You're gonna have fever, chills, malaise, and you're just not gonna feel well. So up to the point where kids that are usually very young or people that are older, 65 or older, are at high risk of progressing from a serious flu to even death. Each year in the United States, thousands of people die from flu. So this is a very good reason to get vaccinated. Because it is a contagious disease, when you go and get the flu vaccine, you are not just protecting yourself, but you're protecting the people that you love the most, the people with whom you interact in your daily life. Why? Because this disease, this virus, is spread from one person to the other via our cough, our droplets in the cough. So, for example, if I am going to cough, I am not going to do like this and then touch my children, my parents, who are at great risk. If I am going to cough, I should cover myself in this way to avoid those droplets that have the virus from getting into my hands and then passing on to the people who I love the most and who are at the highest risk of progressing to full-blown flu. What is another reason for getting vaccinated? The vaccine will most likely prevent us from developing the flu, but if we happen to become infected, then we may have a flu that is not so severe. So that's another plus. If we don't get the flu, or if we get it but we're not so sick, then we're not spreading as much the virus to other people around us in the community. So the flu vaccine has two forms. There is an inhaled version and there's an injected version. There is no scientific evidence to say which one may be better than the other one. So my suggestion is go to the places that administer the flu vaccine. For example, many of our local pharmacies are now announcing it, or go to your doctor's office and you may get advice. Maybe you're going to prefer the inhaled version, but if you are advised to get the injected version for better protection, I know it's not as comfortable, but I would go for that as well. However, in principle, all of us have the choice of inhaled versus injected, and that can be particularly appealing for children, which is harder to convince them to get vaccinated. So there are several myths about not getting the flu shot. The first one is, well, this virus is changing, so why get a vaccine and then maybe the virus that's going to infect me is going to be different? Well, there are scientists doing very sophisticated computer predictions each year on how the virus has been changing. So they've been looking historically what the virus variants have been on for many, many years, and based on that they can predict what are the most likely variants for this coming year. Therefore, the vaccine that is available right now is already designed to protect us against the most likely virus that are going to infect us this year. So therefore, the myth of a virus changing, it's not a very good reason not to go get vaccinated. If people get the shock there is still a risk that they get sick, particularly people who are very vulnerable. That is, that they have some type of compromise in their immunity. However, if you get the shot, chances are that if you're going to get sick, you are not going to be so seriously ill, and that can protect you as well from dying from the flu. There are some myths about, well, flu is the same as a cold, and yes and no. And strictly speaking, no, they are not really the same. The flu is caused by the influenza virus. This is a different virus than the various viruses that cause the common cold. The flu is life-threatening. The flu can cause fevers, chills, and a severe inflammation of our lungs that leads to death. That doesn't happen with the common cold. Regardless, with both of them, a recommendation is that when you are feeling sick, particularly severe symptoms where you think you may have the flu, you should not go to work, or you should not send your children to school, because we all have to contribute in the community to reducing the spread of the disease. And so we don't want to share the airspace with other people who we're putting now at risk for the flu as well. So when we're feeling sick, we really should stay home. The main differences in the symptoms are fever. Fever, you usually do not get fever when you have the common cold. You can get chills. You don't get that. And then rarely with a common cold you may have your body ache, but it'll be a lot more pronounced with the flu, where you feel your whole body is in pain. Those are symptoms that are not part of the common cold. So when you have those symptoms, think influenza.